Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're hearing in the NFL rumor mill right now is truly intriguing. It's about a potential trade that could reshape the entire landscape of the NFC North, and more specifically, give the Chicago Bears a major boost on their defensive front. Imagine a scenario where the Bears, who are currently sitting at 3-4, are about to make a move that could turn their pass rush from average to elite, a move that might set the stage for a serious playoff push and even a deep run in the postseason. And no, we're not talking about just a minor addition. We're talking about a high-profile, game-changing trade involving a key defensive player from the Cincinnati Bengals. That player is none other than Trey Hendrickson, a name that's been making waves in recent seasons for his relentless pass-rushing ability. Hendrickson, who's been a cornerstone of the Bengals' defense, especially in their pass rush, is reportedly the subject of trade whispers, and the rumors suggest a deal that could send him to Chicago in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fifth-round pick in 2027. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Trading away a player like Hendrickson, who's been such a force on the edge, especially in a division that's been struggling to protect its quarterbacks, sounds risky. But the Bengals are in a bit of a transitional phase right now. After a couple of tough seasons, they're trying to rebuild their secondary and optimize their cap space. Hendrickson's contract, which carries a $7 million cap hit this year, is part of that puzzle. They're looking to free up cap space and bolster their offensive line, which has been giving up too many sacks. 28 sacks allowed so far this season, a number that's hard to ignore. And that's where the Bears come into the picture. Chicago, with a record of 3-4, is still in the hunt, but they've been desperately needing that extra juice on their pass rush. Currently, they rank around 17th in sacks, which is decent but not enough to really threaten the top-tier offenses like the Lions or the Packers. Hendrickson, with his profile as a pressure machine, could be the missing piece to elevate this defense. The numbers speak for themselves. Last year, Hendrickson was named an All-Pro, and in the 2025 season, he's been outstanding. He's racked up 34 pressures, 6 sacks, and posted an impressive PFF grade of 85.9. His EPA per rush, which is a critical measure of efficiency, sits at -0.16, showcasing how disruptive he's been on the field. He's also been a consistent force with 420 pressures, 60 sacks, and 12 forced fumbles over his career. And he's been remarkably healthy in 2025, with 0 injuries so far this season. What makes Hendrickson such a valuable asset isn't just his raw stats, but his explosiveness and ability to get after the quarterback. His burst off the line is comparable to top-tier rushers like Danielle Hunter, and he's boosted his pressures significantly. Over 230 pressures in 2023 with the Bengals, which is an 18% increase in sack rate. His career trajectory indicates a player who's peaking at just the right time, and for the Bears, he could serve as a cornerstone in their front seven for years to come. Now, why would the Bengals consider such a trade? Well, it's not just about cap space or draft picks. The Bengals are in a bit of a transitional period, especially after some tough games, and they're trying to retool their roster. Losing Hendrickson would be a blow to their pass rush, but with the picks they're acquiring, especially that first-round pick in 2026, they're looking to rebuild their offensive line, which has unfortunately been giving up too many sacks this season. They've already allowed 28 sacks, which is a problem when trying to develop a young quarterback or build a more balanced offense. By trading Hendrickson, they're betting on the idea that they can develop other players and focus on their future. For the Bears, this move could be transformative. Imagine Hendrickson lining up opposite of Chase Claypool or alongside other pass rushers like DeMarcus Walker. It would immediately boost their ability to pressure the quarterback, especially in blitz packages designed by defensive coordinator Eberflus. Right now, the Bears rank around 17th in sacks, which isn't terrible but isn't enough when you're trying to contend for a playoff spot. Hendrickson's addition could bump that number up by at least 13 sacks over the course of the season, and that's not an exaggeration. His presence alone could elevate the entire front seven, making it a top 10 unit in the league. What's even more exciting is how Hendrickson's presence would impact their ability to generate turnovers. The Bears have been struggling with creating turnovers this season, but with a player like Hendrickson rushing the passer, forcing fumbles, and applying constant pressure, the opportunities for turnovers, interceptions, and forced fumbles would increase significantly. His ability to disrupt the pocket and force QBs into hurried throws or mistakes is well documented. For instance, last season, Hendrickson was responsible for 4 forced fumbles, and he's shown a knack for clutch plays. When you combine that with the already talented secondary, like rookie cornerback Tyreek Stevenson and safeties, this defense could become truly formidable. And let's not forget the impact on the overall team strategy. With Hendrickson on board, the Bears could more effectively neutralize teams with strong offensive lines, like the Lions or even the Packers. His experience and relentless motor would allow Eberflus to dial up more aggressive blitz schemes, knowing they have a player who can consistently win one-on-one battles. Plus, it would buy more time for their secondary to hold coverage, especially with some of their key players currently dealing with injuries, such as Gordon, who's on IR. Hendrickson's addition would be a stabilizing force, giving the Bears a more balanced and aggressive defense capable of making game-changing plays. Now, some might argue about the cost, especially considering Hendrickson's value and the draft picks involved. But in today's NFL, when you're trying to build a competitive team capable of contending for a Super Bowl, you have to make bold moves. The Bears are in a position where they need to accelerate their rebuild, especially on defense, and acquiring a player of Hendrickson's caliber would be a statement. It would also send a message to the rest of the league that Chicago is serious about competing and that they're willing to make bold moves to do so. Looking ahead, the implications of this trade could be massive. If Hendrickson performs as expected, it wouldn't be surprising to see him become a leader on this young Bears defense, inspiring their edge rushers and setting the tone for their entire front seven. His experience in high-stakes games and playoff battles would bring a new level of professionalism and intensity to the team's culture. And if the Bears manage to develop a top-tier pass rush, their chances of making noise in the postseason increase exponentially. The NFC is wide open, and teams like the Lions or even the Packers have shown vulnerabilities. With Hendrickson, the Bears could leverage that edge and take a significant step toward returning to prominence. Of course, there are questions that remain. Will the Bengals really pull the trigger on such a trade? Are the Bears willing to give up their future picks for an immediate upgrade? The NFL is all about timing, and sometimes a bold move like this can define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. Remember, this isn't just about one player. It's about the strategic vision of the Bears' front office. They have been building this team with young talent and draft picks, but adding a proven veteran like Hendrickson could be the finishing touch they need to make a real playoff push. In terms of the division, a move like this could be a game changer. The NFC North has been a competitive division with the Lions emerging as a real threat, especially with their explosive offense and solid defense. The Packers, despite their struggles this season, still have a talented roster and a veteran QB who can turn things around. The Vikings, on the other hand, are trying to find consistency. But if the Bears bolster their pass rush with a player like Hendrickson, they could become a real contender, capable of disrupting their division rivals and gaining crucial wins down the stretch. And speaking of playoff implications, Hendrickson's track record in high-pressure situations is impressive. His ability to generate sacks in crucial moments could be exactly what the Bears need to flip close games in their favor. Plus, with the added pressure on opposing quarterbacks, the secondary, already showing promise, could capitalize on mistakes and create more turnovers. This kind of defensive upgrade isn't just about individual stats. It's about transforming the entire team's mentality and approach. Now, looking at the broader picture, this potential trade echoes the kind of bold moves we saw in the early 2000s when teams like the Bears built dominant defenses that led them to Super Bowls. It's about instilling a culture of relentless pressure, aggressive play, and strategic flexibility. Hendrickson, with his burst, consistency, and proven production, fits right into that mold. His career stats, 60 sacks, 12 forced fumbles, are impressive, but what really stands out is his impact when he's on the field. 0 injuries in 2025, a high PFF grade, and a reputation as a pressure machine make him a perfect fit for the Bears' defensive identity. The excitement around this potential move is palpable among fans and analysts alike. It's not just about adding a player. It's about signaling a shift, about showing that the Bears are serious about reestablishing themselves as a defensive powerhouse. With Hendrickson, they'd be setting a foundation for future success, one that could echo through the NFC for years to come. It's a move that could rekindle the legacy of the Bears' dominant defenses from the early 2000s, where relentless pass rushers defined their identity and brought them deep into the playoffs. So, as we wait for official confirmation, keep an eye on this story. Because if it happens, it's going to be a game changer not just for the Bears, but for the entire NFC North. It's the kind of move that could accelerate their rebuild, empower their young players, and put the league on notice that the Chicago Bears are back in business. Whether or not the trade goes through, one thing is clear. The Bears are making moves, and the future looks a lot more promising with a player like Trey Hendrickson in their lineup. And honestly, as fans, that's exactly what we want to hear. Hope, excitement, and a team that's ready to compete at the highest level. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Hendrickson can be the missing piece that elevates this defense to elite status? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bears organization. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. The journey toward a Super Bowl isn't over, and with bold moves like this, the Bears could be on their way to making history once again. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.